And welcome back, everybody, to another week at Beyond the Trailer Park. And we have a full house this week, finally, and we have Miss Ashley back in the house. Yay! You can do more than wave?
Oh, I thought you were going to. Sorry, it's been a while.
Obviously.
He forgot how to broadcast. Holy shit.
Oh my gosh. Hey, y'all.
Good God, she's tongue-tied. The mouth is the south.
Miss Ashley's back.
She's back, but she ain't saying much yet. We have to fix that.
Sorry, I just felt totally embarrassed because I forgot.
That's okay.
Oh, goodness gracious.
It's
How are
only
y'all
like...
doing? I know.
Good.
Well, it's good to be glad. It's good to be back.
Absolutely. It was a little quiet here without you, but, you know, we'll have to do something about that. But I think we got at least one more loudmouth in the house this week anyway. But Beth, over in Pennsylvania, how the hell are you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
Still existing.
Going in for the second eyeball surgery this week.
Yes, countdown to number 2.
Yay, then hopefully you'll be able to see like a semi-normal person.
Well, yeah, until I get my glasses, but hopefully the dizzies will be gone and all that fun shit. And if not, at least then we can work on that, and I can work on my balance and stuff. We'll see.
Yeah, no more like falling over and shit, right?
Yeah, I haven't done that. Well, I did today in the store, but...
How did I guess? What the hell?
I kind of lost my balance. I was on the wrong leg, and it didn't want to stay standing up, and then I went... But I fell in my grocery cart. That's any consolation. I didn't end up on the floor like the beats did.
Okay, well, you know, staying semi-upright, I guess, is better.
Yeah. I'll just be glad to get the second one done, because I am very sick of not being able to see. And not being able, I mean, it is affecting my balance, and
yeah.
I mean, it's nice since I've had the first one. I haven't actually had to put my hand out to like steady myself as I walk, so I'll be rip-roaring to go once I get the other eyeball done.
Woohoo! Well, hopefully that goes all smoothly this week. So down in Florida, we have a Miss Korrine and Ms. Melina. Welcome to the show.
Hey. Hello.
I don't know. In Florida, where it's, I guess, hot and stuff.
Actually, beautiful out, right?
It's very nice out. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were just hanging out outside before we came on here.
Let's want to get my convertible top down.
It's fancy with the convertible.
Ooh, a convertible. I have a moonroof, and when I put my windows down, I can pretend it's a convertible.
Yeah, but in Canada, you have like 2 weeks of summer, so.
I know, and it's like almost started, so, you know, we gotta squeeze it. In fact, we have a tandem bicycle, so we took that out for a jaunt just before it came on for the show.
You took it out from a what?
Tricycle on the back of a regular bike.
No, it's an actual tandem bicycle. Although, and you will no, you won't. Well, you will laugh. But when we were looking into it, my husband actually looked into the like 2-wheel extension things that you can stick on the back of a normal bike for a kid, and I was like, yeah, no.
Yes, so much.
The proper tandem bicycle, so I can touch tippy toes on it, so, and I don't really need to touch it. I'm not really doing anything on it. It's kind of like a motorcycle. I just sit on the back and look good.
So I don't know. I don't think all of you have been introduced really to Melina before tonight.
Not really. Please do.
Please introduce yourself, Melina. She's been making a little bit of rounds on the podcast circuit, so I'll let her.
Good, excellent. Because of course, Korrine does the Atheist podcast, so she's kind of old hat at this thing. So, well, Melina, you're from Florida, yes?
I was born and raised here in Florida.
Lucky girl, let me tell you.
That means you've had to put up with Scott Walker your entire life. Ugh.
Okay, well, that's not so lucky. I was just thinking about the sunshine and palm trees myself.
Ashley.
Oh, what is that?
Oh,
Ashley.
Why is that even in your house?
Melina brought it to me, so I housework.
Melina.
And I'm going
No.
to Ashley do the puzzle with me.
No.
So now what do you think of Melina?
What was that, some football thing?
Florida Gators, yeah.
No, Melina, no.
oh.
For those of you who don't know, there's sort of this rivalry between Ashley and her Georgia dogs and Florida Gators, and I don't know. It's like this pigskin ball thing. I don't know anything about it, but they
American football.
Birkin.
Ashley's wedding is Georgia Bulldog themed, if that gives you any indication.
Yes. Yeah, I just know it's black and red, which, as you can see, are my colors anyway. So I'm like,
So you wouldn't want to wear orange then on that day?
No. No orange is allowed. No, yeah. Orange is not the new black.
in case people are wondering, I'm gonna guess that the Gators wear orange. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that would make sense. I see. We have football here, but we have the Canadian Football League, and I don't know anything about that either. I barely know.
Our rejects to go get better in the Canadian Football League, and then they end up playing in the Arena Football League.
And if they come back at all.
If they come back at all, that's true.
Hey, Deborah, wait until you find out what we're going to give out as party favors.
I thought it was lighters.
Oh, yeah, I did talk to you, didn't I?
Yeah.
You remember you, me, son?
Yes.
Look,
Yeah,
y'all know
Earlier
how
this-
crazy my world has been for the last 3 weeks.
I know.
You know,
Earlier
I
this-
went to the doctor today, and they tell me, oh, these levels are this high, and these levels are this high, and your hormones are really out of whack, and you'll be full menopausal in 2 years, so we're going to start you on this medicine.
Yeah.
But in order for you to start on this medicine, you have to quit smoking.
Oh, and how did that go over?
Well, they're starting me on something that's stronger than Prozac,
Right.
What is it?
and I'm going to stay on it for 6 weeks. And then what they'll do is then they'll start me on Shantex. I want to make sure
You
that
cannot take Shantex.
I've been on it before.
Physically, she can.
Be careful. Anybody with depression and bipolar have to be very, very careful.
Well, I have friends who take Zoloft who use Chantix, and they were fine.
Yeah, just watch it, especially if you're menopausal. Speaking
Well, I'm
from
not
experience.
depressed. I'm just, everything's just out of whack, and
Gee, I wonder
I'm scared
why.
I'm right there. The Prozac's been stopping me from going over the cliff, but I've been having problems getting to the cliff.
They're like basically while you're starting menopause, so you have to have hormones. Is that basically what they're saying?
To calm my moodiness and my hot flashes.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like, I started menopause 10 years ago, and I didn't even know. And so 10 years later, when they're, oh yeah, you're menopausal, you should take these hormones. I'm like, no, why would I do that?
That was about my reaction.
I was like, it had been like 12 years at that point. I was like, why would I take no, that doesn't make any sense. So if you're gonna get symptoms, then I could see that. But I like nothing. I didn't even know. I was like,
Oh yeah, I have to do something because there's sometimes at night that I'm like, I wish I could put my whole body in a freezer.
okay, yeah. See, I still have the heating pad top on the bed.
What Ashley does actually go in a freezer because she turns the air conditioner on to such a temperature that you feel like you're freeze. Even me, who loves the cold and has been known to go out in just without a jacket in the middle of the winter.
Okay, you need to just come and live up here then. I will switch. I'll go live in Florida, no problem.
Ashley should move to Canada. It'll be more fun.
We're gonna have Ashley up here for Christmas, so we'll take lots of video of Ashley.
I will be here too.
Yes.
I do want to go over to Hoser's and meet Raymond Parker.
Yeah, well, Hoser's 5.5 hours away, so Hoser's
gonna meet us half fucking way.
Dave better be there too. He's not that far from you.
Well, the problem when you have little ones is getting them away from anywhere on Christmas. So, because they'll have like grandparents and shit they'll want to be with. But if Hoser can make it halfway down or some shit, we might be able to arrange something. But yeah, he's like 5.5 hours away. But depending, I mean, if you guys are gonna stay for a few days, like 2 or 3 days, we might be able to go up there. I don't know. We'll see. We got 10 months, 9 months to go, some shit like that. Oh wow. So Ashley, just so everybody knows, how's your mama doing?
She's doing a lot better.
We've been telling everybody not to pray, but to go and send you nice wishes.
Oh yeah, thank you Jesus for not praying.
Well, that's good. She's doing.
Oh yeah, and you know what? I realized that it was all the prayers and all the.
Oh
yeah, that was a nice try last night, Ashley.
I know. I tried. With him just sitting right next to me, I couldn't do it.
I knew you couldn't.
I couldn't keep a straight face.
Oh shit.
But no, she's doing a lot better. We're working on getting her towards a rehabilitation center because she's ready to get up, move around, and go back to work.
Yeah. So what kind of stuff did they rehab for that? I was kind of questioning.
Well, we're sitting here trying to figure out the same thing. Me, personally, I think it's just another way to get some extra money out of the insurance company. I don't know. That's just how...
Personally, I would be like, yeah, screw that. I'm going, or see you guys, I'm going home.
Yeah,
well,
she's about to that point.
That's the worst part.
Learn how to use the muscles in her legs again, and then of course the surgery probably fucked up her stomach muscles, so her stomach and back are gonna have to be worked on.
But it's been what, 2.5 weeks?
Yeah, being bedridden, if you're stuck in bed, even if you're just getting up to get into a chair, trying to walk can be, I mean, that's one of the things I'm finding the hardest is because my stomach muscles, my back muscles are messed up.
Right.
Is that even though I can walk, I fatigue after like 20 feet.
Right.
It's like, seriously? So
yeah. I could understand that. Well, that's good that everything seems to be on the mend.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
At anything y'all are saying. We're just angry.
Inside joke.
Understandable. For sure. Did you guys see the picture I put up on my wall this afternoon? Actually, it was like I was in Georgia. Did you see that picture?
No, because I ended up actually staying off of Facebook today.
Ah. Well, I went out to, we have a chain here of bulk food stores called the Bulk Barn, and I went in there, and there was this dude, he was like very stereotypical biker. Like he had the bandana and the handlebar mustache, and
Oh yeah,
you
I
know,
did
all
see that.
done up in his letters and everything. And on his back, he's got the fucking Christian flag with the Jesus is Lord all over it. And,
Oh, good God.
oh yeah,
That's something that you see every day down here.
I know. So it had the Christian flag, which is, if anybody doesn't know, it's a white flag with a blue square with a red cross on it. Oh, there we go. Corinne's got it. Corinne's got it up on her screen there. So
Yeah,
that was the biker dude walking around in the bulk barn today. And that shit you don't see around here very often, if ever. So I had to grab a picture of that. It was funny. And you should have seen I'm like trying to like not look like I'm following him around the store so I could take a picture when he's not looking. Yeah, I'm like I'm not trying to be creepy or nothing, but at least I remembered to turn the sound off my phone so the shutter noise didn't go off. That would have been good.
Oh, that would have been good.
No picture, la 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 la. Yeah, that was my day today. I'm like, I kind of wish that we'd been out on our motorcycle if I was on leathers or something, but I did have this shirt on, so. There was another guy in the store that like was totally staring at my shirt, and I was like, "Do you need a picture or what?"
What does it say? Because the thumbnails.
It says,
Hell was full, so I'm back.
"That's right." I should have worn this when I was down there last, Ashley.
I don't. It might not. You know what? Was it two dudes
Was who two dudes?
that was trying to reach a shirt?
I know it was one guy.
He might not have been looking at trying to reach a shirt.
Maybe. Then I should have been wearing the nice rack shirt. That would have been.
when you have a nice rack, whether you wear a shirt that exposes the chin or not, people are gonna notice. You walk in boots.
Oh, I know, but I have the one shirt that I ever got because I've only ever spent 8 hours in Texas, and that was in the Houston airport. So the one thing I bought there, it's got the Texas Longhorn skull on it, and it says "nice rack." So I wear that on occasion. I like that one, but this would have been a good one for Nashville. It's got a pitchfork on it too. A nice touch.
Well, you could have been wearing your glory hole shirt.
Yes, I did wear that to Nashville. I don't know if you saw, but
She did.
walking
Yeah,
around.
Right on up in Hardee's with that motherfucker on too.
Oh, hell yeah. And walking around the Grand Ole Opry grounds taking pictures, giant penis on my chest was great.
I'm debating, should I wear a glory hole shirt to Reason Rally because we kind of want to put like on the, atheists aren't, nasty motherfuckers, even though I'm a nasty motherfucker and I'm an atheist.
But we kind of are. Just our definition of nasty is a hell of a lot different than theirs, I think.
My definition of nasty is pre-fucking kids, so.
Yeah. See? I'll probably bring Glory Hole. See, because we're taking our motorcycle, so I have another one that I wore when we were down last year, and it's like the picture of your stereotypical biker guy again with like the half-shell helmet and the handlebar mustache and the sunglasses, and it says, "Keep calm and ride a biker."
Well, there you go.
See, that one could be it. Yeah, so we're like, 3 weeks to Reason Rally.
Yes.
Yes, I will be recording some audio at Reason Rally and hopefully some video, because Ray Comfort and his little minions plan on showing up, and
Yes.
I definitely want to get some audio of Bill Robbins, Bobby C, Paraticman, however you want to go by. I want focus engaging with them. I want to hear the stupidity of the conversations. Ray Comfort is a fucking moron.
I went to his YouTube channel and I looked at some of his street preaching.
Ashley, are you okay?
I went to go turn the laptop around so that Bobby could say hey, and he had just dropped his drawer.
Well, good thing we got the explicit tag on, Wendy. Hi, Bobby.
You got your drawers on now?
No, nobody can let him. He's, I got to keep your pants on.
There's Bobby C. Well, see, now at that angle, we couldn't have seen that he didn't have his drawers on. We only seen the shirt, but that's okay. That's how we really are supposed to see, I think. I think YouTube has some rules about that somewhere.
Melina's getting an idea of what she's in for next weekend.
Oh shit, that's what I totally forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, I went to Ray Comfort's YouTube channel and I looked at some of his street preaching. It is fucking stupid. Like, you have to be completely ignorant of Christianity in order for his shtick to have any effect on you. It was that lame.
Well,
Like,
that's what counting on, isn't it?
yeah, it was like, so do you consider yourself to be a good person? And he's like, now, of course, they're going to say yes. And then you can ask them if they've ever told a lie, and they'll probably say yes. And then, well, you're a sinner then. I'm like, fucking stupid. I mean, so I'm like dying for him to be like, are you a good person? I'd be like, well, that depends on what good means, doesn't it? What's your definition of good, bucko?
I might have to have 2 cameras with me. Just
Yeah.
You may need even more than that with if Bill and Bobby and Deb and
all right. Well, we have to have
have
more.
to have one for each one.
We'll have to.
I'm not the person who's good at debating these people because I can do a debate with a moderator. I'm pretty good at that, but being live there with those stupid motherfuckers, I don't think I could restrain myself from just like slapping them across the face and say, "Stop being so stupid." I'm just the worst person for that. So I will let cooler heads do the
Korrine, why do you hate God so much?
Yeah.
8 horsepower.
She put it in my mind.
I told Korrine that I could bring the water bottle with me, and she's gonna like cook.
No,
Great.
this is not an if. This is a happening.
Okay, I will.
So, all right. So at this point, like, Deb will be videoing, and I'll just kind of poke him with that, and I'll be like, "Look, people this stupid do exist." And then, we'll do the old switcheroo, and I will, record Deb arguing with him because, if I heard him, utter one word, I'll just punch him in the face. So
I just want to walk up to them and go, look, the people that made this actually have families to feed.
Mm-hmm.
So people actually purchasing these things allows for families to eat. They don't think about that kind of shit.
I'll be like, okay, how did you get all of this lovely technical stuff that you have? Science.
I'd be like, so Ray, what's your shirt made out of? Does it have more than one type of fabric in it? Perhaps.
I wonder if we can get a picture of him eating fried shrimp.
That's one of the points I brought up in today's segment with the whole science denial and Korrine, you remember the debate I had with a mutual friend of ours. It's like, if you're going to deny one part of science, then you deny it all. You can't have it both ways.
Exactly.
If they're going to have their little fancy dancy cameras or their cell phones or whatever, you can't have that and the life-saving technology of medical care and deny that there's climate change or deny evolution or deny any type of science. I mean, that's just fucking bullshit, and that's what they do. They cherry pick.
Well,
It's
that's
like,
what I'm saying with my aunt. She was having the homosexuality is a sin debate with me while we were eating shrimp cocktail at my parents'.
yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
I had to point out the hypocrisy of that, and then she said, "Oh, I'll have to look into it further." So this was about 6 months ago. She hasn't gotten back to me.
No.
Don't you know, those are the ceremonial laws. They don't apply unless you're Jewish.
Well, and the sad thing is, going back to the homosexuality thing, and why that argument is just so bad is because they're not ceremonial laws.
No.
I mean, they try to force them into the same category as the Ten Commandments, which are moral laws, and they are ceremonial laws. But it's just like the don't eat shrimp or don't do tattoos. Those are in a different category. It's like you gotta be consistent throughout. So if you're going to abide by one thing, you need to abide by the other if they're in the same category. That's why they try to force the homosexuality issue into moral law, because supposedly Christ didn't abolish the moral law. He abolished the ceremonial and the judicial. It's like, make up your fucking mind.
Yep. It's frustrating, but I hope I get some time with that idiot. I don't know how crazy the crowds are going to be. He's also giving out free copies of his book with Subway cards. So I will take a free copy of his book, and I'll get him to like
Your Ray Comfort's book, so I can make all the corrections and make copies and send it back to him.
Oh no, I'll keep it in my reference library under fiction. You know.
Well, you know, I have the Seventh-day Adventist book. I was giving those out for like presents.
Oh, I didn't know about that. What are those like? I didn't know they had.
But I would love to send you one, except for the fact that they're all at the house that I no longer live in.
Well,
But
yeah.
One more copy I could give you, Deb.
Okay, if you manage.
Seventh-day Adventist.
Well, I got my Book of Mormon, and I've got my like couple of Gideon Bible. I've got 2 Books of Mormon and 2 Gideon Bibles over here. So I need a Quran. I need a fucking Quran. I need like a nice one, and then one I can write shit all in. Is what I need.
I have about 6 Gideon Bibles, but Jim Dobler and I, we were at the hotel Saturday night because the movers weren't coming until Sunday, and
Right.
it wasn't working in the first room they put us in. So we hid the Bible in that room, but we tabbed Ezekiel 23:20, and then the room that we went to afterwards, we tagged Ezekiel 23:20, and then put I put the tip for the maid in there. And the room that we were all in, gosh, I think we had 2 Gideon Bibles. Bobby threw one, and Jim put one underneath one of the dressers or something. I don't know. After highlighting all the good parts, of course.
Of course, yes. Well, I have my niece likes to collect stolen Bibles from places, so I still have a 3rd one from Nashville here, but I'm gonna give that to her when I see her next. But I've got one from West Virginia, and one. Where was the other one from now? I don't even remember. It might have been from Hickory. I think it might have been. Anyway.
There was no Bible.
I need a Quran or 2. So anybody wants
Quran or 2?
I want a nice one so that if I ever meet like a famous Muslim apologist moron, then I'll get them to sign it just for shits and giggles. But then I want one that I can like scribble on.
That Bobby has, you could take it.
Yeah, but he might like it. I'm not gonna be like, yo, give me.
Yeah, I mean, he just wanted to borrow it, but I mean, if he decides he wants to keep it, I will find you a nice Quran, and I will
Okay.
throw it on the ground and jump up and down on it, and then I'll send it to you.
Okay. I have my one Book of Mormon I got signed by Bryce and David Michael last year, so that's like my special Book of Mormon.
Well,
And then the one I stole from the Marriott in West Virginia, and that one's gonna be like my working Book of Mormon if I need to scribble shit in it.
well, if I could do a shameless plug, Ed Smith on my show, The Atheist.
Yeah.
He's an ex-Mormon, and he
Yes.
lives, Newfoundland. So.
Yeah. Euphy ex-Mormon. Now there's a head scratcher for you.
We thought we found a unicorn when we got big black gay atheist Canadian Dave, and then we met Ed, and it was like, holy shit, another unicorn.
Euphies are a breed all their own. That's all I gotta say. As a bye.
I just know they say it.
We had to sing that fucking song in public school, man. I'm not going to sing it now, but it was cool.
I used to buy sales of a, I used to buy the something.
Yeah. Sales.
And
Sales. I'm the eyes to buy that catches the fish and takes them home like wiser. Yeah,
tonight. Now that we've
yeah. Well,
and everything like that.
We were going to talk about there was an article that Beth found a while ago, and it's a blog, I believe. Yes, it's from Atheists on the margin of Europe blog. And the person whose blog it is apparently an ex-Muslim, but they had done a piece on 10 questions that atheists get asked all the time that theists just assume that we can't possibly answer proper, or at least to their satisfaction. So some of them are ones that we've all heard before, and some of them are new and equally irritating, but
monkeys, why they still monkeys?
We don't have that one, oddly enough, but it's a fucking stupid one. There's a guy on Twitter, and his name escapes me at the moment, but he just retweets creationist bullshit like 24/7, and that was like one of the first memes I ever did because he would tweet just endless retweets of why are there still monkeys and why are there still monkeys. So it was like one of the first memes I ever made was a picture of a record and just like why are there still monkeys repeated over the whole damn picture, like needle stuck. Why are there still monkeys? Why are there still monkeys?
I'm so glad that part got recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry. Ashley's going to be ripping it later and making some shit out of it, I'm sure.
Ashley's probably ripping him in the bed right now, the way she's been going lately.
What? What did you just say?
I've been ripping it in bed.
She did what?
She said you're probably ripping them in the bed, whatever the fuck that means.
I am not. Korrine?
Oddly enough, this is
hospital. She let me blame her fart on some poor unsuspecting old woman.
well, they're the more likely culprits. You guys will laugh. I was watching top 10 videos on YouTube last night, and one of them was like top 10 most ridiculous infomercial products. And one of them was the Better Marriage blanket. And it was like a comforter for your bed that was supposed to absorb farts. And it was supposed to preserve your marriage.
Well, that falls in line with a recent John Oliver video clip that I included in the segment. Well, not the whole clip, but linked to the segment. And part of his spiel today was basically how the media misportrays a lot of the studies that came out. And you guys might have remembered this headline where I think it was Time magazine put out a headline saying smelling farts cures cancer.
Yes.
And it was funny because John Oliver brings this up and how, and basically what the study actually said was that they were studying sulfur compounds in the treatment of cancer, and it was something to do with that. And it's just like, but the media went with this whole, smelling somebody's farts will cure you of cancer, and it's like,
well, people are more likely to click on that.
well, it's clickbait. It's like that's how. That is actually how I pick some of the stories I highlight. When I on my blog, which I haven't been doing lately. But it's like even like the story that I've been concentrating on lately. It's because of certain headlines, and I know that they're clickbait. That's why I read more than just the headline.
Mhm.
But
you have fart in this line, I'm gonna read it.
Yeah.
well, yeah. Show me a person who won't.
Yeah, I've also seen ads for underwear that are supposed to absorb your fart smell.
I wonder if the Mormon magic underwear do that.
I do. That's a good point.
Well, they probably muffle them pretty good.
I still am looking for somebody to send me some magic underwear, damn it. I want to get my hands on some magic underwear. But there used to be a place online that Bryce told me about where non-Mos could buy the magic underwear, but when I went to look, they were all sold out of all of the women's magic underwear. They had some of the men's, but I was like, no, because what if I want to go as a Mormon to Halloween one year or something? Like, I need the magic underwear.
I definitely send me your sizes because I know your Christmas present.
The problem is you've got to have a church membership.
Okay.
You got to have a church membership number. Otherwise, I would have bought shit years ago. But you've got to have a church membership number in order to buy it.
I'm sure Ed could find me some for you.
Oh, I forgot. We got Ed. Yeah. But see, Bryce
have an inside source.
Bryce didn't even know, but Bryce has been out for quite a while, so I don't know. But like he
I don't think that he official. I think he's official, and he's gonna listen and correct me on this because I'm probably wrong, but I might not be wrong. That he never really officially left the church. Like they're getting records in Utah, so he might actually be able to get them.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
We all need to get some.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder though if they'll wonder if he's like ordering like 6 pairs of women's and 3 pairs.
I have 6 wives and they all have like 10. Whatever.
Yes. That'll. You know what? And that would be an excellent way for him to not only obtain the magic underwear but get excommunicated at the same time.
Exactly. And we can have like a Mormon magic underwear cuddle party.
Oh, that'd be fucking hilarious. Hey, Christmas activity. Cards Against Humanity in Mormon magic underwear. There we go. A Mormon magic underwear Cards Against Humanity tournament for Christmas.
Yeah, kind of wait for this picture to be used.
Oh yeah. All of us sitting around in fucking magic underwear. Like, well, it is the season for magic, is it not? Oh, and we all have to wear Santa hats with the magic underwear. There we go.
Why Santa hats?
I've also read that military personnel can buy their magic underwear in camo.
What?
Yes. The Mormons actually provide magic underwear in camo for their military personnel because all the rest of it's like fucking neon white. I'm sure if you like strip down and take a leak in the desert and that shit's like glowing from, you can we see
all
it.
that green godliness.
Yeah. I've heard that, but I've not actually seen pictures of the camo magic underwear. I've just read stories of people who said that they had some. So.
Yeah, I just read an article about that recently, and
Okay.
about how they do make exceptions, and that they're trying to also make gas masks set for seats because they have to wear the turban.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's weird as shit. What? Excuse me. When I was first researching Mormonism a few years ago, I used to lurk on a forum for Mormon women, and it was on a baby center website or some shit. It was linked through like an ex-Mormon site that I'd been reading, so I was like, oh, let's check this out. And I would go and lurk on there, and the freakiest shit was when they started having debates under whether it was appropriate to remove your magic underwear during childbirth or not.
That is kind of
Yeah. I mean, forget the taking them off during sex, because I think that was like the one time you're allowed to take them off. But like, can you imagine? They're like, oh yeah, when I go into labor, I'm gonna leave my garments on as long as I possibly can. Or I guess they were talking about, well, maybe you can like split the crotch and wear it. I'm like, oh, just ah.
Here's why I have over so many other religions, that mainstream religions, I should say, because you look at how Islam subjugates women, Christianity does, all that other shit does, but Mormonism was developed when you have recorded history.
Yes.
We know it's full of shit. Like,
I know.
I know everything else is full of shit, but like you have this documentation that it's full of shit. Same with Scientology. You have them on record saying, "Oh, your religion, that's how you make money." And people
have records showing that Joseph Smith was convicted for fraud because he used to look at rocks in a hat and tell people that there's buried treasure over there. So he just switched out the buried treasure for, hey, it's the Book of Mormon, and yeah, it's
under what L. Ron Hubbard did, and like
I know,
and who took over after him.
Miscavige.
He was even worse.
Miscavige is horrible. He's out. There are numerous documented accounts of him literally beating up his own people, and like we're talking like second, third in command, and he'll just go and like beat the shit out of them just because he feels like it.
Anyone who's not seen the documentary Going Clear has got to see it, because to me,
we did a show on it.
Oh,
a friend of the show, Robert Robinson, he was a Scientologist for 9 years, so he's done a couple shows with us, and we did one on Going Clear.
Do you think he would be willing to come on our show?
Probably. He's been ill lately, so I have a message out to him because I wanted to talk about the senior Miscavige's new book. So if and when he gets back to me, I will certainly mention that, because if he's
your religion, I'm pretty Ed Smith is really interested in talking.
Oh, definitely. He should check out our episodes then, because we did another one when Leah Remney did her book. We had him back on and talked about it too.
Yeah, he might be incognito. Last I knew, he was in a rehab facility, and the internet connection there was iffy, and he does not have a laptop, so he's probably incommunicado at the moment.
I had seen him posting several days ago, and so that's when I sent him the message, but then I haven't seen him since, so he maybe had a bit of time that he got access and doesn't.
Yeah, his access I think, if he does not have his own computer, is limited. It's probably maybe an hour at a time, but yeah, he would definitely be willing to do your show. I could answer that.
Yeah, I'm sure he would as soon as he's up to it, because he loves getting on and talking about that, and he does he had a website, World Cult Watch, as well. So he sort of made it his life's mission to debunk all that bullshit. So anyway, Corinne's run off. I don't know. She had a booze. Which is
Korrine, we're right in the middle of doing a show.
Well, I guess we could start our questions and put Melina on the spot.
Say we may as well do that, and we can kind of.
And then I'll be back.
There she is.
She's not used to doing live shows, so I think she forgets that we're live.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You know what? I haven't done a live show since the Forbidden Fruit.
I know.
I did the one I know our show, but I'm not used to it, so I'm sorry. I'll be back.
All right. So we're gonna start. The first question that was on the list, and I think we can just kind of go around and give the abbreviated version. How did you become an atheist? So, I studied history, and I kind of went, hey, every time we learn more shit, we lose another religion. Damn. And then I read the Bible, and I was like, well, that's definitely a bunch of bullshit. But yeah, that's the short version for me. And I know Ashley's talked about it a little bit, but you might want to just give us the short version.
Read the Bible and hung out with cool people.
There we go. Definitely. Not to mention the one you're going to marry. That would be a good one.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about him. He doesn't count.
Well, if he comes back in and takes his pants off, he
I told him, I said, I'll go to the bedroom and do the show from the bedroom. Because if I do it in the kitchen, he has to turn the TV down. I told him I'd go to the bedroom. I didn't mean for him to come in the bedroom and change. He knew I was going to do the show. Just sitting, Bobby does Beyond the Trailer Park.
Well, okay.
We're not a PG show, so, you know.
Well, little secret, because where I broadcast from, it's a multi-purpose room. It's also like my craft room, and it's right next to the bedroom and the bathroom. And, of course, the camera's always pointed at me, but people would never know that at least once a show, there's a naked guy goes back and forth to the bathroom to have his bath. So there you go. And
Beth, there's just some things about your life I don't want to know.
Hey, I get TMI on your damn show all the time.
Yeah.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
The single life.
We've gotten some of your story before, too, if you want to give the Coles Notes version.
The Coles Note is I basically studied church doctrine. As most know, I was raised Missouri Centered Lutheran. I went to a Wesleyan Methodist college, and I converted to Pentecostalism.
Because the rest of it wasn't crazy enough for her, I guess.
Yeah. And basically, all three doctrines, all three main tenets, beyond the Trinity, all conflict. And I just began questioning it, and eventually I became an atheist in about 97-ish. I was agnostic for about 10 years, and then I finally admitted to myself I was an atheist. I mean, it just, when you really delve into it, it just does not hold up. And reading the Bible is probably, as the old quote says, the fastest way to create an atheist.
Oh, hell yeah. That's why every time I get some Christian on Facebook or Twitter going, you should read the Bible, I'm like, I encourage everybody. And I have more than once.
I think what's most bizarre about that question, when they ask you that, they want you to read their parts of the Bible. We've actually read the entire Bible from cover to cover. They're lucky if they got 5 chapters in.
That's why, like, if they asked me that, and I'd be like, well, I have read the Bible. Oh, I don't know. And then I throw out, like, some obscure verse that, like, my favorite, of course, Ezekiel 23:20. We'll throw that one out there. Oh, well, what's your opinion on Ezekiel 23:20 then? Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, I have to look that one up. I'm like, yeah, you go do that.
Make sure you do it while you're in the bathroom.
Yep, and then you watch them turn purple if they do it in front of you. There's a what? Well, that's a metaphor, is what I always get.
Yes. Well, my favorite's always too when they talk about the Psalms and they use that as some type of evidence, and I'm like, well, please tell me what a Psalm actually is.
Yeah.
Most people don't realize in the original Hebrew, and I'm not talking modern Hebrew. We have to remember that we're speaking ancient Hebrew here. The Psalms are actually songs.
Yes.
They're not poems.
Yeah.
I mean, they're verse, but they're actually verse set to music.
Yeah.
And it's just, they're like, what? So, no, the Psalms really are not an inspirational book, in my opinion, because they're just fucking songs.
Well, it's like, if anybody is familiar with Carmina Burana, it's a famous musical composition that was done by a fellow named Karl Orff in, I think it was 1939-ish. But it's all sung in Latin. And the original is monastic drinking songs. And so if you get like an English translation, it's all about getting pissed up and partying, even though it was written by monks, which is...
Well, I always find it, and this is one of the things I discovered when I was studying church doctrine, was that most of the hymns in our hymnals, especially if you're Methodist and Lutheran, they're actually old bar ditties with new lyrics.
Yep.
John Wesley did, who wrote a majority of the songs, didn't come up with original music. He took old bar songs, discarded the lyrics, and threw new lyrics in there that were all godly and all this other bullshit.
That makes sense, though, because if you think about how they took pagan rituals that they thought were nasty, bad, and evil, and injected all that Christianity into it, so to entice people to follow it, it's the same shit. Well, we're gonna take your nasty old bar songs and we're gonna Jesus them up, and then you'll still want to sing them because you know the tune and it's familiar.
Mm-hmm. Just.
All right.
Oh.
So, ladies, so the question was, how did you become an atheist? So I'll let you two decide who wants to go first.
I was always an atheist.
That's right. She was raised as...
But I was never a believer.
Yeah.
And Melina.
Yeah, I would say as I was ever actually a believer.
Okay.
I can remember when I was really little, like 5 or so, coming up with the idea of making a birthday cake for Jesus at Christmas time. But,
Oh God, we used to do that.
but, you know, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what it meant. It was just a reason to make a cake, and everybody talked about Jesus, you know. But as I got older and started to think, it didn't make sense. I didn't know what to do about it, and I started reading Dungeons and Dragons, specifically the Forgotten Realms series, and the gods in there made sense. So I started arguing from the perspective that these are my gods, they're the real ones instead.
Well, Norse gods are a lot cooler than, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gods are my people.
Yeah, oh my gosh, so many cooler gods.
Well, I became an atheist at like 17, but after that, I really liked Celtic mythology and what. You know, there was a time where I sort of dabbled in Wicca a little bit, and it was, I don't know how the hell I could justify that, because I was still like, well, there aren't any gods. Maybe there's pixies or some shit. Like, I don't know.
Ghost Hunter.
But there was some like Cuchulainn and Finn McCool and Bridget and all of those sort of deities. And then, of course, 10 years ago-ish, I learned about Hinduism, and I have a real affinity for some of those deities, although they are metaphorical personages to me, but they're still kind of cool, especially Kali Ma, because she kicks ass and is just overall badass. Nobody wants to fuck with Kali. So the next question is, what happens when we die?
You cease to exist.
Yeah.
You die. What the fuck
Yeah.
The worms crawl in, the worms crawl out, you know.
Oh, well, you become worm food. You just
Worm
grow
food.
star stuff. You go back to being star stuff, just decaying star stuff.
Death. Death is the price of life.
You might, or if you get, cremated, then you turn into a pile of ash that people might do things with or may not.
You know what's interesting? I mean, thinking about, because I would love to have my ashes spread at Giant Stadium, but I wouldn't know.
Exactly.
Like, if anybody did it, I'll be fucking dead. But that's where I feel like my ashes belong. And
I think my ashes belong in a pot plant.
A pot plant. All right. Ashley's going to fertilize some kush, right?
That's right.
No, my niece promised me that she would make it happen, and we're very close, and I trust that she will make that happen.
I was reading, months ago, but the Haunted Mansion ride at Disney, apparently they get people all the time trying to dump their loved ones' ashes in there, and that they regularly have to, like, almost every day, they clean out people's ashes.
That is the weirdest thing I think I've ever heard. Why?
Apparently people really like the ride.
It's Disney World and it's Florida.
And it's haunted, so they figure that's
the ride. It's like it's not even a suspected haunted mansion somewhere. It's a ride.
No, it's, if you look around, there are people that claim that there's been all kinds of ghost sightings in there, which is fucking bullshit, but, oh, I'm in a haunted mansion, I guess I better see a ghost,
I don't even know what to think. It's so bizarre.
Yeah. Oh, see, now, I like the idea. Jimmy Doohan and Gene Roddenberry got shot into space, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's just awesome.
Yeah. I'm imagining their estates had to pay a shit ton of money for that, but with SpaceX now, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But I'm like, yeah, send my fucking ashes out to space. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd be like, send my ashes to Europa.
Yeah.
That's where I want them to go. It's a pretty name.
Exactly. So, and Ashley's opting for the pot plant. So there we go.
Yep.
Beth, do you have any preference?
It's cool if my relatives did smoke me away.
Ooh. No.
My grandmother was a pothead. She started at 70, and
wow.
And I swear, we're like, we should put ashes from a joint into her urn because they just belong there.
That I can see, but not the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ashes in the pot plant, and then your relatives fucking.
There was, I think it was an old Night Court episode where somebody drank somebody's ashes because they thought it was coffee and they put it in the coffee maker or something.
Yeah.
I think it was an old Night Court episode. That was funny.
Maybe. It's been so long since I've seen Night Court. I mean, that was bad. That's going back.
I love that show. Yeah, it was the 80s. It was on, I think I torrented it a couple of years ago, and I watched all of it. I watched the entire series.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome show. It might have been on Netflix too. I don't remember, but I did just like a year or so ago. I watched the entire series. Well, that's why I remember. I was like, I'm pretty sure it was John Larroquette's character that drank the dead guy in the coffee.
Richard Mall.
Thomas said it's that thing.
Yeah. I'm fucking old. But Beth's older, so there's always that.
Oh, yeah, throw that in there.
Oh yeah.
Wait, am I the youngest one here?
Probably.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking.
Well,
It won't last.
no, it doesn't last because, I hang out with my nieces a lot. They're in their 20s. Well, one's, 21 and the other one's 25. And they're like, they think of me as cool auntie because, I was a teenager when.
Yep.
And they take me out now and they're like, they take me to the club and I'm like, I don't know. Oh my gosh, I'm so old. Because I just can't even relate. They say stuff in this weird code. And I really, like, Auntie, that's totes adorbs. That was the first time I heard that. And I was like, what?
Total what, huh?
Exactly.
Was it?
They shorten words because I guess they got a lot of stuff to say and they need to shorten stuff.
I don't know. I thought Totes was a brand of umbrella, wasn't it?
Well, Totes is, it's a brand, but Totes is short for totally.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just like my
We
brain's like,
think of it as gloves or umbrellas.
yeah.
Yeah. Those gloves that you would wear when you shovel the snow. They had ones
So you'd be like, you want to do what with a pair of gloves? But then again, it was priceless the other night when Sonia said she was going to the loo, and you were like, what the fuck did you just say?
Oh, she cracks me up, man. She cracks me up. You need to have her on the show because
We should, absolutely. It's just this whole future thing that makes it. We had Donna on. We managed to get Donna on from the future, and it was kind of cool because there was actually a thunderstorm during the show, and we heard thunder from down under on the show. It was pretty awesome.
okay, that's cool.
Was there a puzzle?
No, there was no puzzle. I heard about that one too. Was it the puzzle in a thunderstorm or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alrighty, so we figured out where well, Beth didn't really know where she wanted to go, but
Well, it would either be space or there's a new where you have your you become a pod and they basically plant a tree or some type of vegetation. Whether I can afford either one and just end up being cremated in a pauper's field, well, we'll see.
Or the other one I thought would be kind of cool is they can turn you into a diamond now. That'd be kind of cool.
I don't like diamonds though.
Okay.
But my dream though, and I say this partly in jest, is that I want to be cremated and have my ashes sprinkled over my old college.
Okay.
I went to a Christian college. I want to haunt them till the end of days.
So
Yeah.
gay agenda.
You're like, guess what? There's lesbian ashes everywhere.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's move on to the next question, which is a slightly variated version of Pascal's wager. What if you're wrong and there is a heaven and there's a hell? So,
You really need to go.
Chris, my answer is, and so what if you're wrong and, Cthulhu's the right one? You're fucked.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking that motherfucker's going to fuck you up royally. Tentacles and all.
Oh, it'll be like a big tentacle hentai heaven.
That's Cthulhu Heaven. Right, there we go. Eternal tentacle porn.
Oh God.
Sorry. I hope you sleep well.
Go there. Ashley, what if you're wrong?
Well, then I still don't give a shit, because if I am wrong, then everything that's written in the Bible is true, and he's a jackass.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care. I mean, if I'm right, I'm great. If I'm wrong, then so I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't even want to be in heaven with somebody like that.
No.
There
Because
was
apparently to him, because chance and hell to even get into heaven.
yeah. Well, there was a comic going around just last week, and it was two proselytizers on a doorstep, and the person answering the door is like, "Are you kidding? You've only been here 5 minutes, and I'm nauseated. I don't want to spend eternity with people like you."
Yeah.
Yeah, paradise doesn't sound all that much like paradise.
Well, that's the thing that always baffled me too, because one of the questions, first thing I always do is ask is, why were you so hidden? Why, when I called out to you to prove yourself real so I could believe in you, you didn't do anything?
Mhm.
And then it'd be like, okay, since you chose to remain hidden, why do you deserve worship anyways? Because the shit that's written in your book is shit.
Mhm.
I mean, I'd rather spend eternity in hell than, and especially now because I don't feel pain, so I can burn all I want.
It probably smell not too good, but I guess you get used to
Yeah,
it well.
but
Oh, you know what? Satan never got to tell his side of the story. He killed what? People? How many people God killed? I think that hell is probably like awesome.
I've said this to Christians before. I'm like, how do you know that, quote, God is not actually the evil one and Satan's the good guy, and this God is screwing with you? Well, God said that he's the good. I'm like, yeah, well, the evidence says it. Because, the only people that Satan killed, God told him to fucking do it.
So is like God, Donald Trump, and Satan Bernie Sanders?
I'm thinking.
I mean, just as a comparison, if you want to go there.
Yeah. Well, God is definitely very Trump-like, for sure.
Oh my gosh, he's a jealous God. Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And half the freaking Ten Commandments are about his, worshiping him and don't using blasphemy and all that other crap. And
Yep.
not once in the Ten Commandments does it say do not rape.
Yeah. Let's
no slavery. Don't beat your children.
segue this into the next question, which is, without God, where do you get your morality from? Well, it sure the fuck isn't God, because like you said, nowhere in the Bible does it say don't rape or don't fuck children. That would
That's rocks, or don't keep people as slaves, or so many other fucking things. You get your morality from being a advanced primate. From being,
and like you said, most of the
He just called me a monkey.
Who called you a monkey?
Korrine.
Oh.
Why we still got monkeys, Ashley? Well,
That's what I thought. She called me a monkey.
yes. Did you hear what Melina said?
What'd she say?
If Christians came from Jews, why are there still Jews?
Yeah. Same. Well,
if you talk to a true fundy, Jews are just as salacious as atheists. The whole Hagee Zionist movement.
Yeah.
And if you really look at some of the doctrines in some of the churches, they are very racist in their views, and not just anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you think the Ku Klux Klan came from?
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
I would not. I mean, I wouldn't. even if it was the last book on this planet, I would not use it as a moral guide. I'd be more likely to use Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
That series, or Dune.
Isn't that the one with Gandalf in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the
I mean,
Gandalf.
I recently found a new podcast, like I need another podcast to listen to, on the Dune series, which if people know me know that's like my all-time favorite series of books, including the son's contributions. And that's one of the questions I posed to them. I said, you can see in that series the development of religion, and it was written around the time period that Scientology came about. And if you compare the two, Dune went the good way, Scientology went their own way. I'd rather those would be the two series I'd take my morals from, not the Bible.
Well, and like,
I would take my morals from the Kushel's Legacy series. It's kind of has almost Christianity background, but there's a son of Jesus who walks the earth and basically says, love as you will, and it's just a nice concept. Well, that God, anyway. A lot of other gods in the book, but.
well, like you said, 3/4 of the damn commandments are all about not pissing off God and bruising his fragile ego. Like, don't worship anyone else, and
I'll get sad.
it's all thought crimes. Like, the only good thing in there is don't kill people and don't steal people and don't cheat on people. Like, because adultery is kind of spurious because it's not necessarily wrong if it's a agreed upon scenario. But cheating, on the other hand, is a different thing altogether. So instead of adultery, they should change it to, like, don't cheat.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Even that one, so I don't even really take that one as being particularly valuable because it doesn't have anything to do with our current society. So the only really useful things in there are don't kill people and don't steal shit, and that's it. Everything else is pretty much useless.
Well, it's like someone said too in regards to the Ten Commandments. They use it as an argument. The Constitution is based on the Bible, and the first 10 amendments are based on the 10 Commandments. Well, if you actually compare the 10 Commandments to the Constitution, specifically the Bill of Rights, only 3 of those commandments would be legal in this country based on our Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, I don't remember the breakdown offhand, but like don't have a jealous God. Well, there has to be other gods. Well, we don't have anything in our Constitution saying that we have to worship a God. So
Yeah.
you're already telling us to break it just, they're two competing documents that can't coexist in a secular society, and that's why, like, some people, fight it. Don't see the fight behind having 10 Commandment monuments on court property or state property, and it's like, well, that's why they're two competing documents that you can't exist. In fact, I had an atheist the other day say, well, yeah, I have a problem with the 10 Commandments, but I don't see a problem with it being on a court lawn.
Mm.
Well, there's your problem right there. And they don't want to have the Constitution. They want the 10 Commandments. That's what they want to rule by.
Well, the Constitution was written by God.
Oh, well, yeah, then there's that whole issue.
I thought it was written by
It was
Moses.
written by his disciples, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Moses.
And you know what the sad thing is? All of your versions are correct according to the news and some of the wingnuts we have in office.
Oh,
And
man. Country's
When
going,
some of the
I tell you.
That's
Hey, honey.
a kitty. Say hello. No. being all shy.
Aw.
Too bad you for the pre-show. You could have seen all the kitties that Miss Ashley has running around over there. They all look like you. So, to go with that then, because we all agree that we don't get no morals from the Bible, because that's a piece of shit. So, the question actually, where do you get your morals from?
Korrine.
That's why you're going to come and hunt us down and hang us all later, right?
Exactly.
Bring
I
your...
get my morals from if somebody's hurting, try and help them. If somebody's hungry, give them, as Tom would say, a food.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
just it's
Well,
in humans as you become self-aware, as we have as humans. Would you want to be hurting? Would you want somebody to hurt you? No.
that's just it. Like, I've explained this to somebody before, because the idea of don't kill and don't steal are actually older than religion. And the reason for that is we recognized a long time ago that if we allow other people to kill indiscriminately, eventually somebody's going to kill you, or somebody that you rely on or care about or what have you. So that realization kind of went, wow, it's probably a good idea if we make it more difficult for people to kill other people. It's probably a good thing. And it benefited society, and society would thrive because we're not letting people just kill whoever the fuck they want. And then with stealing, it's the same kind of thing, because if somebody can go and just steal your food, you're fucked, right? So you realize if we make it more difficult for people to steal your shit, then that's going to protect you, and it's also going to protect society as a whole. So those ideas became the norm of organized society from the beginning, long before anybody heard of fucking Yahweh or Jebus or Moses or any of those guys. It came from the realization of how those things impacted the individual and society. So that's using our ability to reason and to examine the situation and make decisions based on the impacts it has. It has nothing to do with someone going, oh, well, if you do that, I'm going to, fry you forever. Because, let's be honest, if the threat of hell worked, the only people who would ever commit murder would be mentally ill, that they didn't understand that they were going to hell. Would you not agree? Don't all jump in at once.
It depends on what denomination you are.
A
True.
lot of people have this idea that they can repent after they commit the crime.
Well, and that's
Right.
the loophole of religion that pretty much shows you there's no morality in it.
That's one of the first things I was like, wait a minute. So I can commit murder and ask for forgiveness, and I'm going to be in heaven?
Yeah.
There's something seriously wrong with that.
Well, it's like
and they wonder about our morals.
Well, what I find interesting is the whole eternal security doctrine. Now, according to my former Pentecostal church, I am still considered part of the fold.
Mm-hmm.
Although I am, quote, backslidden. So, technically, I'm still going to heaven. Because once saved, always saved.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
That's actually a better attitude. I mean, because, Jesus supposedly died for everybody's sins. So, why has it got to be conditional? He didn't even die. He died for a few days. That's kind of a wussy sacrifice, but...
Huh?
You had a big-ass nap.
If he's supposed to have died for everybody's sins, why does it matter if you sin? He already freaking saved you.
That's one of my favorite memes that I like to use. It's a picture of Jesus, and it says, "If you don't sin, I died for nothing."
Exactly. Yeah. So I intend to sin a lot more.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm
Although
sure.
I always argue that there actually is no such thing as sin, but there's lots of cool things that they think are sinful.
You know, and this is totally off topic, but when people say every sin is the same, so rape is the same as, you know, I don't know, stealing somebody's $50 bill.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're gay, that's the worst sin in the world.
Well, yeah. But yeah, committing murder is like the same as telling your wife that she actually doesn't look fat in that dress. Like, it's basically
Why
the
is
same.
it trans or Asians mentioned in the Bible?
Yeah.
Well,
Because
theoretically,
God didn't create them, the devil did it.
Oh, that's right.
transgender is mentioned in the Bible. Eunuchs.
Really? I wouldn't have thought that was anywhere remotely similar.
Well,
They
you'd
are.
have to pull some errors, but if you want to think about it, transgenderism in a what's the word I'm looking for? A loosely defined way is mentioned in the Bible. So is homosexuality. I
How
mean,
is
supposedly the centurion's marriage was a gay wedding.
No, but
Okay.
like specifically where trans is mentioned in the Bible, because I don't remember that.
So Beth's saying is that they equate eunuchs with that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I could sorta kind of see that, but
You would have to really split hairs and to be I can't even say the word now.
hermeneutically.
Correct. It would not work. But there are some, it's called a gay theology, basically. There are some that advocate a gay theology where eunuchs are equated to transgender, and the one marriage that Christ attended to, the centurion's wedding, if I remember correctly, or it might even been the wedding in Canaan, was a gay wedding. But that's really, really splitting hairs.
So then that begs the question, did they have a cake at the wedding in Canaan if it was a gay wedding?
Well, what kind of wedding was it? Was it a Christian wedding or was it a Jewish wedding?
Yeah, huh? Good question too. Well,
It would have, considering they were all Jewish.
yeah, it would have to be a Jewish wedding.
Hmm.
Because
And
every foreigner that they come across, like Samaritans and whatnot, they either kill them or tell stories about all the sinful things that they do and why not to be like them. So it's probably they're probably all Jewish.
hmm
I'm thinking, but yeah, morality. The other thing that morality is really based on is empathy. Because if you look at sociopaths and that, they don't tend to have the ability to empathize, and that's what makes them act out the way that they do. So the average person is able to empathize with their fellow human, and that's what prevents us from doing a lot of things that would harm other people, because we can empathize with that situation.
right,
Yeah.
and every culture to go along with that has a means to deal with the so-called outcasts, or as we throw them in jail in this country, but even cultures that predate our own had a means to deal with the so-called outcasts. And they didn't always throw them in jail. They didn't always kill them. Most times they were banished from the community.
Mm-hmm.
So that gets into the whole morality of our crime and punishment system. I mean, people were up in arms when Andre Breivik in Norway was only sentenced to 20 or 21 years, and he's going to be let go after killing 77, kids.
Yep.
But that's how they deal with it. They try to rehabilitate. Not that I
Yep.
think I can be rehabilitated, but
That guy is pretty much. I don't think there's any saving that guy either. But and then but then on the flip side, then you get somebody like Jeffrey Dahmer that apparently became a born again Christian in prison, and even though he killed a bunch of people and ate them, he's supposedly gonna go to heaven because he found Jesus in prison. Everybody else does. Like when people ask me is like, have you found Jesus? I'm like, oh, isn't he in prison? Once everybody else finds him.
yeah. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I need to go to prison.
No.
No.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
So
I have
then
too much fun.
that goes into the next question, which is, if there's no God, can we just do what we want? Are we free to murder and rape while good deeds are unrewarded? So I like to quote Penn Jillette. I have absolutely raped and killed everyone I've ever wanted to. And that number was 0. And if your number's not 0, then get some help.
I think that sums it up quite well.
Yes. I love Penn Jillette. Yeah. Like, that's just such a stupid thing. And then when somebody asks me that, I'm just like, okay, if the only thing keeping you from doing all that nasty shit is because you think God is going to torture us, you need to go turn yourself in right now because you are fucked in the head.
Yes.
Or as the meme says, if you need the threat of hell to be a good person, then you're not a good person. You're just to be.
I remember specifically, there was somebody I was working with who was a Catholic, working on an anti-human trafficking fundraiser.
Right.
And she decided to back out at the very last minute. And I asked her why, and she said, because you're an atheist. And I said, what does that have to do with anything? She said, well, why are you doing this if not for God? And I said, I'm doing it to raise money to help girls who are being held as sex slaves. I'm not doing it for some unknown deity. And she said that, oh, well, you know what? That's why she can't do it, because that's the devil speaking.
Oh, but so fuck the poor girls who are being abused and trafficked because
God is letting them being abused, trafficked, and used as sex slaves, and yet then he requires us to intercede on his behalf.
Yeah.
It's so immoral.
It absolutely is. And yet they sit there and are all smug like, oh, we get our morals from Jesus. Like, yeah, your Jesus is pretty slim on morals.
Fuck you, big tree. Grown kids. It's not in season.
Yep.
Die tree.
I think Beth prepared a segment, and we've got about a half an hour left in the show, and that's going to be 13 minutes. So then we still have 4 questions. So I figure let's take it'll be about a 13-minute break, and we'll do Beth's segment, and then we'll come back and finish up the questions. Sound good?
Should we mute ourselves while the segment's going on?
Yes, please.
Okay.
All right, so take it away, Beth. Oh, and actually, I forgot to fix this. It's going to start in the wrong place, so bear with me a moment.
I really need a new intro. I will take suggestions. Thank you.
I forgot to set it so that it starts at the beginning. My bad.
Did you want to go to Reason Rally 2016 on June 4th and can't afford it? Do you want your group to be a part of the biggest atheist and free thought rally in 2016? Now's your chance. Reason Rally 2016 is looking for groups that want to come to the Reason Rally for a great rate. Reason Rally is working with rallybus.net, your online crowdsourced event bus sharing, to bring you to the Reason Rally and to take you home. Go to rallybus.net/reason-rally and sign up today. We need bus captains and organizers to set up groups of 40 or more that can meet up in major cities and rideshare. Go to rallybus.net/reason-rally to set yours up today.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Havoc and Chaos Live. Weekly look at some of the batshittery we call news and the pals, pundits, and other off-the-wall people, myself included, who claim to know what is really going on in our world. I'm an atheist, a lesbian, and I have bipolar disorder, among other things. Therefore, hate of any kind is not welcome in my world. I am opinionated, and my impulse control went by the wayside months ago, so I say what I feel. In other words, stupid, smart people piss me the fuck off. Be forewarned, I'm highly excitable, and if you are easily offended by four-letter words or longer, you may want to go and listen to something else. I really need a new intro. I will take suggestions. Thank you. Two things before we begin. First, I want to acknowledge a Facebook group that is responsible for keeping me up to date on the batshittery that is MMS. It's called Stop Carrie Rivera, Autism Quacks and Abusive Treatments, in quotes, for Autism. Now, while I dabble in the whole MMS debacle, these individuals are right into the thick of things. If pseudoscience such as this sickens you as much as I, seriously, pay them a visit. And just an FYI, it's not for the squeamish. And second, I think this segment is more of a disconnected rant, brought on by the shenanigans of the anti-vaccine crowd, with a shit ton of citation. I tried really hard to make it coherent and relevant, but I'm not quite sure I succeeded. And here I thought I was leaving the religious nuttery behind for a while. Now I have both science idiots and religious idiots all rolled into one. Shaking my head. This is why you do not send me stuff, Nicole. So, if you remember from part 1, we discussed a general overview of the First Amendment and how it is only speaking of governmental entities and their representatives. In other words, public versus private sector employment. The First Amendment has no jurisdiction between private parties, such as the cases of Phil Robertson or Andrew Wakefield, although there are certain caveats, i.e. violations concerning anti-discrimination laws, or what I call full religious liberty cases. But you have to bear in mind, those cases then are no longer First Amendment issues, even when said violation may be religious in nature. You may say whatever you want. Again, there are caveats. Yelling fire in a crowded theater being one of them. The government cannot shut you down, although they can place restrictions for public safety. We see that with the safety zones at family planning clinics or the buffer zones at political rallies. A private entity may disagree, and they may criticize, but they do not have to provide you a platform for your speech. Ultimately, that's what the Azúcar Bakery case was about in Colorado. Marjorie Silva, the defendant, maintained throughout, quote, in the same manner we would not make a discriminatory cake against Christians, we will not make one that discriminates against gays. In a similar vein, it's also why Phil Robertson had no leg to stand on against A&E, regardless of your view on that whole debacle. As a private company, A&E had certain standards for their employees, and their determination, Robertson did not meet said standards. End of story. In a nutshell, that's the situation being faced by Andrew Wakefield, a lying conman with no moral integrity. Tribeca is a private entity who chose, after receiving horrible public backlash, not to screen his film. Contrary to opinion, Mike Adams of Natural News, the powerful elite had nothing to do with this. There is no conspiracy. We also learned that the same tenet applies in regards to religion. The government has to be hands-off in endorsing a specific religion, and that hands-off approach has to be across the board. Now, mind you, I am speaking of the United States alone here. In other words, Christianity and its variants, cannot be given preferential treatment over any other religions. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. That is one of the underlying arguments you'll find concerning the SB 277 issue in California. Parents can no longer use religion to exempt a child from the required school vaccines. That all above was kind of my original introduction. But midstream I had a change of thought. A light bulb moment, if you will. Remember my bit on MMS? The MMS protocol is actually part of Genesis 2 church sacraments. Jim Humble made it as such in an attempt to bypass the SOCUS issue, basically by injecting religious bullshit. For example, these are statements within a longer statement by Humble. Blah blah. By the sacraments of the Genesis 2 church, we have treated, cured, and healed breast cancer. Yada yada yada. Forbidden by the FDA, U.S. justice system maybe, but not a church. He goes on. Testimony of many diseases cured with the Genesis 2 church sacraments. People all over the world are being restored to health with the protocols of our church. The clincher for me, considering Genesis 2 and Jim Humble come from a Scientology background, quote,
"The time is now to make a stand against this evil that is destroying our world." This Bible verse sums it up about who we are really fighting. "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Ephesians 6:12.
While Humble is still active in the debacle he created, this is a more recent news release, and it's quite telling. It's dated December 4th, 2015, from Archbishop Mark S. Grenon. Quote,
"We have prepared a religious exemption letter to be given to any government or private organization as a statement of our beliefs about vaccines and other issues regarding toxins entering our body, i.e. our temple. Blah, 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 blah."
Now, this statement was in regards to a woman who wanted to volunteer at a hospice. This is what I have to say to Humble and his ilk. Why the fuck would you want to volunteer at a hospice or such without being vaccinated? The elderly, the ill, and immune-compromised die from flu complications. Fuck Jim Humble, and fuck your cult. Now, I get a little personally peeved at this because it's this attitude that caused my issue with staff or MRSA, which, by the way, I just found out almost derailed my eye surgery. And that was 18 months after the fact. We have Kerry Rivera, and by proxy, Bishop Andre Kelker. He's a oft cohort with Rivera and Humble. And remember, Rivera is a bishop. She takes it one step further in her curing of autism with the purging of parasites and intestinal lining, what she calls ropeworms, via the ingestion of MMS, or chlorine dioxide, and chlorine dioxide enemas. Oh, and bear in mind this is on children with sensory issues that have autism. And sorry, not so sorry for the gross picture. This is what the parents are sifting through their child's poop for. This is occurring daily, if not more. Here's another example of Kerry Rivera's handiwork. This is a 2-part tutorial, and it describes how to make a 3,000 parts per million chlorine dioxide solution. Now, mind you, this is a far cry from the recommended concentration for treating our water supply. And I did find this kind of interesting. Although Rivera seems to have jumped ship for GCMAF, another bogus cure, the following screenshot still appears in relation to Humble and his Genesis 2 church. In my last foray into this wacky world, about a year or so ago,
the number stood at 163. So it would appear, though not vocal, Rivera is still considered part of the fold. Now, all that above. Into that mix, we have the whole anti-vaccine movement, of which Wakefield is a part, and it's a part he fully embraces. Which got me to thinking, in light of the recent Hovind Toko video. And no, by the way, Andrew Wakefield was not exonerated. SOCUS hasn't been broached, per se. But SOCUS is an issue in a broader context of the anti-vax movement, as is the idea of religious freedom in general. And I'm wondering, how much of that have they learned from the Reich and their throw spaghetti on the wall approach? You see, some aspects of the alt-med field fall prey to this conspiratorial mindset that was exemplified by Hovind, and the religious batshittery presented by Genesis 2. In fact, what scares me is that next on Hovind's list will be MMS. He already peddles B17 as a miracle cancer cure, so MMS would not be too far of a leap. I guess what is so bothersome, and why collecting my troubled thoughts so difficult, is that I see no end in sight. I look to people such as Kevin Folta, the Cybabe, Dr. David Gorski, among many, many others, who have spent years studying this stuff, and I wonder, what do they really think when an individual such as Hovind, or Wakefield, or in Kevin Folta's case, Vandana Shiva, make such a mockery out of science? A field they've spent a lifetime to learn, and a lifetime to communicate. It makes me wonder how people like our very own Professor Stephen, or Rachel Lannon Brown, have the stick-to-itiveness to stay in the fields that they have chosen. In the end, I'm reminded of what John Oliver said in a recent episode, and he makes some really interesting points concerning science and science reporting in the media in general.
No! No, 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 no! In science, you don't just get to cherry-pick the parts that justify what you were going to do anyway. That's religion. You're thinking of religion. That is what you're thinking of there. And look, this is dangerous. This is really dangerous. If we start thinking that science is a la carte, and that if you don't like one study, don't worry, another will be along soon, that is what leads people to think that man-made climate change isn't real, or that vaccines cause autism, both of which the scientific consensus is pretty clear on. Science is, by its nature, imperfect, but it is hugely important.
All right. I don't know where my ladies went.
I'm here. Oh.
I know. Well, Ashley had a phone call. She would hopefully be back shortly. So, Korrine and Melina, get your asses back on here already.
They're probably refilling the rose.
I don't know, but it looked like Korrine was drinking champagne, which I'm totally jealous because I love champagne.
Oh, that's
Man, what the hell are you? Anyway. All right, well, we're just going to go on because we only have about 15 minutes left. Oh, I hear...
Oh, I heard a ding, and then there's a picture.
All righty. So the next question on our list is, if there is no God, how does your life have any meaning? It doesn't have a prescribed meaning. It has whatever the fucking meaning I want it to have. I don't understand.
Baby snarf my soda.
Sorry. But I mean, seriously, what is wrong with people that they need like some invisible sky daddy to give their life meaning?
Yeah.
Have you guys?
And if you think about it,
You still said on the soda.
Yeah, it doesn't change.
No.
If you believe in God, you're
meaning for life can never change. So what, whenever you decided to get saved, that's it. You're done.
Yes.
My meaning has changed as I've gotten older and gone through different experiences.
That's right. Have you guys had to have that stupid question lobbed at you before?
I say two different things depending on my mood. I will sometimes say, why does it have to have meaning?
Yep.
And otherwise I'll say, it has whatever meaning I want it to have.
Exactly. Like, I don't understand this whole, or what's the purpose of your life? Why does my life have to have a purpose? It's like, I didn't ask to get born. I'm just fucking here, so I'll deal with being here because I am. Like, I don't need a, like, that's when, well, that kind of goes into the next question, which is, where did the universe come from? And I get people like, well, don't you want to know where you came from? I'm like, no, I don't fucking care.
We don't know what happened. We don't know the why or the how, but we know what happened, and we know that within our lifetime, we're not going to know. So, move on.
Yeah, like this obsession with, well, where did you come from, and don't you want to know the origin of life? I'm like, no, I don't fucking care. I
came from my mom's crotch.
Yeah,
my dad's dick.
Actually, but
I'm sorry, I did.
Where do you think it came from? My mom's pussy. Now, like,
somebody fucked, and here I am. Like,
I mean, it sounds crude, but that's the truth. I mean, like you said, we had no choice whether we were born or not. We're here. We make the best of it day by day. In some cases, minute by minute. Our life experiences is what gives us, to some degree, meaning, and what we do with our life beyond that. That's where we find our purpose.
Yeah. And, I think part of it comes from this idea, because if you listen to the average Christian, and they're going to be like, oh, we were made in the image of God. And I think it's this desire to be more special than ever, like, well, we're special than, cats or dogs or gorillas or chimpanzees because we're made in the image of God. So if they don't have that, well, we were created because God specifically chose to create me, then they feel like they don't have that sort of extra special value. And like, I kind of feel bad sometimes, but I have to say to people, look, you're not that special. Neither am I, neither is anyone else, but you specifically are not that special. You are an animal like the rest of us. And I think that's where that comes from, is that desire to be like, I'm super special. So,
yeah, special pleading.
Yeah. Like, I'm just so cool because God picked me to be in his own image. Like, no, two people fucked, one of them gave birth, and here you are. That's all it is.
Yeah, plain and simple.
Yep, exactly. And then the next one is, what about miracles? What about the people who claim to have a connection with Jesus? What about those who claim to have seen saints or angels? Anybody?
What drugs are they taking? I'd like some.
Well, I got one word for that. Pareidolia.
Yeah. Yep, your favorite word, actually.
Yes. Yes.
I have a personal relationship with The Rock. Like, I feel him in me all the time, but
you?
That's not true. I just imagine it. It's my imagination. But you know what?
No virgin birth?
No, the fact that I fuck The Rock on a regular basis.
Huh.
Yeah.
I was expecting a virgin birth out of it, though, at least something.
Referring to, in case anybody is not sure, she's talking about Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. not, you know, a rocky phallus or something like that. She's talking
Or
about
just a random pet rock I like to stick up in my cooch.
She's obsessed with the couch. And she don't mean a sofa for any Canadians who are listening. It's one of them, they're Americanisms.
My grandmother would call it a Davenport.
Yeah, that's another word, yep.
Davenport Chesterfield, but then I get told that that's cigarettes, so.
Yeah, that's the brand of cigarettes.
Yeah, no, Korrine used to spend a lot of hangout time trying to get me to say that I was sitting on something other than the sofa.
And you know what? It worked for a little while.
It did, and then I kind of got wise to it, and I was like, wait a minute.
I had you going for a while. I did.
You did.
For a while until I think it was Auntie Atheist that fucking sold me out.
Yes, I think it was. I was like, wait a minute.
I was like, God.
So, pareidolia, in case anybody doesn't know, refers to our natural ability and tendency to find patterns in things that may or may not have patterns in them. So it's like when you look at the clouds and you're, oh look, it's a fluffy puppy kind of thing. That's pareidolia, because obviously the clouds are not deliberately organizing themselves into a cute fluffy bunny to make you smile. That's your brain going, holy shit, that looks like a bunny, and it's not. And so we talked to
smiley faces in my old shower, and they were smiley faces, but they look like.
Yeah.
You want a good story of pareidolia? My ex, we had a shower curtain that was like blue and white. It was just random goofy patterns, and she found a face of Jesus. She cut a hole in the shower curtain. I had to go buy a new shower curtain because she wanted.
Well, now I don't know if it was a fake news story or not, but there was one making the rounds last week, and it was a woman crashes her car because she saw the face of Jesus in her Kit Kat when she bit into it.
Oh, good Lord!
I was like,
you just ruined Kit Kats for me.
Sorry.
Now you're gonna have to send me some coffee crisp for that.
I will bring you more coffee crisp in 3 days.
That's right. You can actually bring them.
I will bring you some coffee crisp, but I didn't know if it was a clickbait fake story or not. But and they showed a picture of where she bit into the coffee crisp, and the lines of chocolate had mushed together, and it sort of kind of looked like a face. And to that end, the most common thing, the thing that we are wired the most to recognize is faces. And that's why we see Jesus and fucking toast and the Virgin Mary on like corrosion stains on fucking bridges and all of that shit, because
it makes the New York Giants appear on all of my toast. So New York Giants are God.
All right. That's how many gods on a team do we have?
Oh, well, there's different levels of gods, like, the running backs and the wide receivers, cornerbacks, defensive ends, they're the upper echelon. And
well, I'm just
nose tackle, and they're
because I don't know shit about football, so I'm like, how many people's on a team? Because I don't know.
55.
Holy shit! Really?
53 or 55. And then there's the practice squad.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm thinking like baseball has like what, 9 people on a team? I mean, I know.
Well, not on the field at one time, but that's
you rotate in.
Yeah.
Like, second string.
Okay. There's a shit ton of gods, in other words. So God is polytheistic, and there's like 50 of them. And he appears on Korrine's toast.
New York Giants appear on my toast, therefore the New York Giants.
Yep. And a lot of times, if you think about miracles, if they talk about, so and so was healed, or I love the ones where they're like, oh, so and so's house was destroyed by a tornado, but look at the perfect Bible sitting untouched, and I'm like, oh, nice, asshole. You leave the fucking Bible and you cream their house and kill the family dog and everything else, but woo, you protected the Bible.
Survives a disaster and 100 people die. People say,
Yeah.
oh, God, the God spared him. But, oh, fuck everybody else.
Yeah. Come on. But and in terms of, like, if you say, oh, so and so was really like Ashley's mom, like, oh, she was near death and Reverend Alex came and prayed and now she got better, it's a miracle. Like, no, she was getting medical care, people.
Well, that ties in with my segment too. Is like, that's the problem with our healthcare, especially now. 1 in 6 hospital beds are owned by Catholic Church. So you have nut jobs like Jim Humble and Kerry Rivera and Clacker or Kelker, who created a church so they could bypass our laws to shove fucking bleach up a kid's ass.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, if an adult wants to do it, there's some guy on one of the message boards I'm on who brags he takes 5,000 milligrams a dose and he does it 15 times a day. Well, yeah. And he goes, I'm perfectly fine. And I'm like, yeah, that shit that the parents pick through? That's what's coming out your butt. That's the lining of your gut. Your stomach, your entire...
Just stick something up their ass 15 times a day.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he does the enemas, but he does drink it. And he's like, our water treatment plant, at least here in the States, I don't know about Canada or the rest of the world, MMS, or sodium chloride, is used in water treatment for a whole municipality. So, like in Buffalo, where I'm from, the dosage there, if you want to call it that, is less than 1 part per million.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's putting 5,000 parts per million. I mean, like I showed with the in the clip, Kerry Rivera was making a batch of 3,000. That's 264 times.
Yes.
The recommended exposure level to this stuff.
Ugh.
Parents are having their kids taking it to school and wonder why CPS is being called, besides the fact that we're reporting them.
Yeah.
It's like...
Eating your kid poison on a daily basis, and somebody thought, maybe we should report that. Go figure.
Yeah.
Oh, we're all garbly. We're all garbly.
And they call it a miracle cured. No, it's,
Okay. Okay. Oh, there we go. We got you back. I got the part about it. They call it a miracle and all that, which is
I mean, that's why they call it miracle mineral solution. It's just nuts.
Miracle my ass.
Yeah.
So, next one, and this was the question that Beth thought was kind of lame, but what's your view of Dawkins, Hitchens, and Harris?
Who?
Irrelevant.
Yeah. I've seen some of Dawkins's online lectures. I've seen Harris on a few things. I've seen the odd bit of Hitchens. I've not read any of their books. And I was an atheist for 17 years before I even heard of Richard Dawkins. So, really is pretty irrelevant.
I mean, I just thought it was funny.
Well, it is, and I get this in some of the groups that I debate in. They'll be like, Dawkins and Hitchens, and so, they're your gods. And I'm like,
Yes.
I've not even read their fucking book. I don't know precise. Like, I have a kind of an idea of what they think, but no, I don't really give a shit. Like, I agree with some stuff, and maybe I don't agree with all of it. I don't know. You know.
Well, my problem is this. I mean, yes, I have read all three. I have seen videos of all three. I do like their work to some degree or another, but I want to know your view. I want to know Korrine's view. I want to know Melina's view. You guys hear me quote from mention Dave Foda. I want to know what he thinks. Go a little bit bigger. Yeah, I can tolerate what Seth Andrews has to say, or Arn Roth. I want the little people. I want people on the streets telling me what it's like being an atheist. I want their stories. That's what's important. I mean, yeah, it's good to have idols, per se, but Dawkins isn't my god. If I were to choose a god right now, I mean, at this moment, it would be Nichelle Nichols from the original Star Trek series. Want to know why? Because a month before I had my stroke, she had a stroke. 3 months later, she was flying with NASA. I find that very inspirational.
Yep.
Or a blogger that I write back and forth with posted a story from his wife about dealing with mental illness.
Yeah.
I liked hearing her story. It made me think of back when, you know, I was first diagnosed and the hell I went through and where I am today. Those are the stories I want. I mean, yes, I care about Dawkins, and yes, I know he recently just had a stroke. But that's not my god.
If you guys had to pick a god, who would you guys pick?
Based on current pop culture, Thor.
Thor? Okay.
Well, do you mean Thor, the character, or the world's strongest man Thor in the movie? I forgot what the movie is.
I am a descendant of Vikings. Thor is the god of my people.
Okay, that makes sense.
But also, Chris Hemsworth, sexy Thor. Not into blondes, but that blonde.
She likes her eye candy. What can we say? I don't know.
Well, I was going to say, who are you pick?
I can't think of anybody who's currently alive that I would probably pick. There's a number of very, very dead people that I would pick, but I don't know if they could qualify as a god if they're dead.
A god, so
then it would probably be Elizabeth I of England.
She's not a god.
No. Well, she was the head of the church. But that's not why. Or Catherine the Great or Queen Boudicca.
Or how about being a god?
Oh, well, that's what I mean. They're not a god, so I don't know.
No, like which god is a god?
Oh, like an actual deity, Kali Ma.
Yeah, that's why we said Thor. He's a fucking deity.
Okay, well, Kali Ma. That would be if I had to pick an actual like deity guy. Let's see, I was thinking anyone, because let's face it, they make whoever the fuck they want to be god too. So that's why I was thinking of anybody. But yeah, Kali Ma for sure. If we're talking actual deities, she's bad.
I'd have to go with Bacchus.
Bacchus, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Lots of
if we want to go eye candy, it would have to be Melissa Etheridge. Or maybe Lindsay Wagner.
Oh, she was cute.
I always thought so.
So, one last question, ladies, before we call it a show. If there is no God, then why does every society have a religion? Yeah.
Wrong answer.
Because somebody don't know their fucking history, that's why. Beth, you want to take that?
Not every society had
or has a religion. End of story. Look it up, sheeples. I don't know where that came from. Yeah.
And like I was saying when we were talking about morality earlier, the idea that, hey, you know, killing people in society is just kind of shitty, so we shouldn't do, like, that's how it works. If society kind of figures out what is beneficial to the group and what is detrimental to the group, and they kind of go from there. So a lot of times, if a society does form a religion, it's because there's shit that they don't understand and they're trying to explain it. But if there was one God, then there shouldn't be thousands and thousands and thousands of religions. There should be one religion, and maybe they might disagree on how to best suck up to said God, but they're not going to be like, oh, well, my God is, you know, got black skin and long black hair, and she sticks her tongue out and has 10 arms and, you know, wears a skirt full of severed limbs and all that. And the next guy is like, oh, well, my God is a male, and he looks like a fucking hippie in a caftan and, you know, turns water into wine for fun. And the next person's like, no, my God flies on a winged horse and likes to fuck 9-year-olds. Like,
I have a question for you guys.
yes.
Like back in the day when you would, like people have to go, you know, to the bathroom.
Yes.
There was a little thing outside. Outhouse.
Yes, outhouse.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, that was the question? Oh, fuck. God damn it. I'm going to start making fun of your Yankee-ass New York accent, you know.
I don't have an accent.
Oh, yes, you do.
Oh, that was awesome. I always managed to get her. She always calls me.
For fuck's sakes. All right. Well, I think we've about covered all of the questions. Did anybody have anything to add before we wrap things up?
Fuck baby
Well,
Muhammad might.
Well, Korrine and Melina, thank you so much for joining us this evening. It was good to have you. And if you guys have, I know Korrine's got her show and whatnot. If you guys want to plug your stuff, please do so.
Well, you can find me on Facebook, Melina, M-E-L-I-N-A, Rayna, R-A-Y-N-A. There's only one, although there's another name. You can also follow some of my activities through the online group Trans Affairs in Gainesville, which is where I hail from. And we try to be rather political in our little neck of the woods.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, do go and check that out. I already sent your friend request, so you'll have one waiting at least.
Thank you.
And Korrine, where do we find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Korrine, New York Giants. No. On Twitter, Snow. Or at Atheist Podcast. That's EHTHEIST Podcast. Or at Lucifer's Ladies, and both those S's are with a Z, and we're on Facebook on each of those as well. And you can reach us at either atheistpodcast@gmail.com or lucifersladies@gmail.com.
Excellent. And Beth, where do we find you?
Well, the easiest way is via Twitter. It's Dune998, and yes, it is after the book. And that connects to my blog, although I'm not blogging very much lately, but I am posting some stuff, not much. And that's Havoc and Chaos, and that's on Blogger, which also connects to Facebook. It's Beth A. Hambridge, and make sure you include the A, or you'll get my vanilla page, and I don't post there.
And when she says she's not blogging a lot, that means she's blogging about the amount a normal person does, and not the 50 billion times a day that she normally does.
Yeah, I was trying to take a break from the bat shit stuff, and it's like, so I decided to go sciencey. Well, so much for avoiding the religion shit. Little
Yeah.
did I know, thanks to my friend of the show, Nicole, he sent me the original clip on Hovind and Toko, which got me down this rabbit hole, and it brought up the whole MMS shit, which, if you follow my blog, I do post about that a lot.
Definitely. And of course, and Miss Ashley again sends her regrets she had to step away, but you can find her at nrrpodcast.com. There's also noreligionrequired.com, which is the blog affiliated with the show, and lots of people post over there. You can find her on the show Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker. And also she has at Miss_Ashley NRR as her Twitter. She's got, well, she's also at Lucifer's Ladies with Zeds, not with the hell's Z anyway. Yeah, Lucifer's Ladies with Zeds. She's also part of that new show. I was hoping she'd be able to talk about it, but maybe next week she can talk about it a bit more. And
so if you want to send hate mail to any of us, profit@gmail.com. That's nrrprofit@gmail.com.
Yeah, all hate mail, just send it there. He loves it, doesn't he? I mean, I'm sure he must.
He wants more hate mail. Like, I just can't send enough anymore. It's just, it's not enough.
You know what? If you want, send some drawings of Muhammad to a bunch of Muslims with that as the return address, and it'll be happening.
Oh my God!
I just gave her an idea.
I'm buying you dinner at Reason Rally.
Okay.
Thanks.
Just go to some Muslim group on Facebook with a big ass picture of Muhammad, and Aisha, and then post that email address.
Yeah.
And now he's gonna try and kick my ass at Reason Rally, but that's okay. He's got to catch me first.
I don't really think he can catch you.
Oh well. All right.
Up over here, down.
Well, and of course, you can also find me at Holy Crap, the vlogcast, which airs Sunday nights at 12:05 a.m. on YouTube as well. Me and a bunch of the guys, Shubes and Tribble, in the panel, we talk about all kinds of crazy ass shit and have lots of fun on that show. And we will, of course, be back here next week. And it's the time of year where we all get a little bit busy because we can actually go outside and not freeze our asses off. So we don't know what the fuck we're doing next week yet either, but we'll let you know. It'll be good. Whatever.
It's been 80 degrees and sunny.
Yeah, it's 6 right now, but that's actually, I can go out without a coat, so that's all right. So until next week, I'm going to go ahead and close us out with Dave Foda and the Humanist Creed, and we'll see everybody back here next week.
I know the truth and power of reason and of rational thinking, and I will use them to my advantage. I know the truth and power of educating myself and of expanding my intellectual boundaries, and I will educate myself. I know the truth and power of vanquishing ignorance, and I will do so whenever the opportunity presents itself. I know the truth and power of morality without supervision, and of true and accurate righteousness. I know the truth and power of obliterating tyranny, be it intellectual, emotional, or philosophical, and will work toward that goal whenever and however possible. I know the truth and power of human ingenuity. I know the truth and power of human compassion, and I will be mindful of the welfare of others. I know the truth and power of equality and fairness for all living things. I know the truth and power of the importance of our families, our friends, and our fellow men and women. I know the truth and power of human stewardship of our lands, our waters, and our skies, and I will try to act to preserve our environment. I know the truth and power of the sciences of mathematics, of physics, and of chemistry, and of the important role of these disciplines in understanding the workings of this cosmos. I know the truth and power of the rejection of all notions or beliefs that reside in the supernatural or the superstitious, and of those notions or beliefs that we are not supposed to be able to explain. And I know that these rejections are necessary for humankind's survival. I am a human being with a free mind, liberated from irrational influence and from unreasonable dogma.